Hey guys, welcome back. Jay here for another episode on the F1 23 My Team Career Mode for the Italian GP today. If you didn't see the last episode in Belgium, it was an absolute incredible race. We got a podium, which is good points for us. We also managed to sign a new teammate in the form of Pierre Gasly instead of Mr. Oscar Piastri, as he was underperforming in our car, so we thought, why not replace him and get some more points on the board. But as you can see there, we were spending a bit of money on the facilities, just trying to upgrade them a wee bit, so in the future, if we need to, we can sign a new teammate. But we are going to go to the season break, and then we are going to go to the Monza GP. You can see all our upgrades have came in there for the durability side of the factory. We were looking if we could spend a bit more cash on the facilities, but everything looks good, so we are just going to jump head first into this race. Hopefully we can get another podium, carry the form we had in Belgium over to this one in Singapore, and hopefully again carry on our performance. Just looking at some of the upgrades we can do. Our teammate Pierre Gasly just finished outside the points in Belgium in his first race in the car. He finished 12th in that race. Just getting to grips with the car. He had a very good qualified inside the top 10 for the first time in the car, so he does have the pace in the car. He does have the potential to score points, so hopefully he can carry on that form into Monza, and we can again perform a bit better than we did last year in Monza. Yes, we scored points just, but hopefully we can score a bit more points as we go into free practice. We are just going to do quick practice here, just trying to get as many R&D points as we can, some discounts on some upgrades in the R&D section, so we can hopefully perform better, add some upgrades to increase the performance of the car during the season, and hopefully get to the point where we were last season, towards the end, where we were competing for wins. Our first win came in Mexico, which was a good race, and then we carried on that form in the Las Vegas GP. We got lucky there as the red flag struck when we were in P3, I'm pretty sure, and then we just drove on to have an absolute incredible start off the red flag, and then perform well enough to keep the Red Bull and the Ferrari behind us to get the win. So again, all good on that regard. We've got a couple points. We are a team that can compete. We have showed that, so hopefully again we can perform a bit better in Monza, and then the next race in Singapore, hopefully we can have a better race than we did last time out. Again, I think we just finished outside the points. That wasn't the first time in the first season, but to be expected as our first season. But we are just going to jump straight into qualifying, and hopefully we can have a good qualifying and maybe even get inside the top 5. Won't that be great to start in the top 5? So we are going to go for our first run in Q3, and in Q1, and you can see there we've got a bit of wear on the engine. I think it's to do with the gearbox, or the MGU-HK, which is to be expected with the internal combustion engine. So on the run down into turn 1, we are going to keep a tighter line, and we're going to drift off to the left hand side there. I could get in a bit of time on the straights, just and in the first turn. We've not had the best opening a few couple turns. We've almost lost the car 3 times there, almost going right into the wall and end our qualifying in Q1. Jack Doohan, as you can see there in the Ferrari, he made the switch over there after being in their driver academy for a long time, and he moved over there after McLaren picked up Carlos Sainz, so they had to find a replacement, and they had Jack Doohan sitting there. We are going to come across the line to go P21, not good, so we are going to go for another run in Q1 here, getting a much better turn 1. I think we're about a tenth and a half up. We get a better exit than we did last time. Not on the grass. We're going to keep a tighter apex just through the long right-hander there. Fastest sector 1. We are pretty quick around Monza. We do have some straight line speed like Williams this season. They've been pretty quick, but we are trying to connect this lap as much as we can. 2 tenths up. We are going to cross the line. We're going to be 5 tenths up. We're going to cross the line. We're going to go 18th. That's not good, but we do still have fastest sector 1. So that is all good in that regards. But 2 minutes left of the session, so we have to get a good lap in now. And if we don't get one in, then we have a chance of being knocked out in Q1, and that will not be a good way to start this Monza weekend. But we get a much better turn 1 than we did on our previous lap. I think just better. We're about half a tenth up going through the right hander, keeping a tighter line. We're going to keep it all the way. We're going to drift out wide, and we're going to come over to the racing line and try and hit that apex spot. We're about half a tenth down going it through Parabolica. Are we going to gain enough time on this lap? We're not going to. We're going to cross the line, and we are going to go P18, and we are going to try and go for one last lap. Do we have it in the fuel tank? Can we go for one more push lap? Because we kind of need to. We're going to get a good turn 1, keeping the speed through turn 1. We're still about half a tenth, over half a tenth down on our time. We're going to take a wider racing line cutting into the apex. We're going to keep that apex line, and we're going to try and just get a good racing line down into the second chicane of the lap, braking a wee bit later, carrying so much more speed through that chicane. We're about 2 tenths up on our time. Lando Norris sets the fastest time of a 1:18.9, as he does have some pace in that McLaren, but Charles Leclerc absolutely smashed out the park, a 1:18.7, as he set a much better lap than he did on his fastest time in the time trial. And if you want to go and see me beat that, I'll leave it in the description. Also the videos that I've called Charles Leclerc out for a challenge. If you haven't kept up with that series, they'll be linked in the comments, and we're going to try and get a hold of Charles Leclerc and have a 1v1 on F123. But besides that, we're about 6 tenths up on our time, getting a really good parabolica, hitting the apex. for 7 tenths up on our time. We're going to come across the line now. What is the time we're going to set? We are going, I think, just getting to Q2. We're going to go 4th, not just getting into Q2, absolutely smashing out the park, getting a really good qualifying for Q1 there. P4 is our teammate Pierre Gasly, qualified P9. He's had a really good qualifying so far. There's your knockouts: Nick de Vries, Logan Sargent, Awumu Iwasa, Jack Doohan, Kevin Magnussen, and Alexander Albon, as he's moved to AlphaTauri. As he did that mid-season last season, as he moved from Williams. But we are going to go through to Q2 now, as we're just a wee bit down on our time, and this is our second run in Q2. Is the first one we didn't set a time, we just kind of got out there as we made this mistake found Parabolica on a warm-up lap, so we weren't going to go for another one. So we are going to go for our second one. We're getting a massive slipstream of everybody. We're going to come around the final turn now. We're 9 tenths up, a second up on our time. We're absolutely flying this lap. Where are we going to place our car? We're going to come across the line for the final time in Q2. Or am I going to go for another one? I'm going to go for another one. But P6, not a bad lap at all. The plan was to hang off on this lap, but we get a really good turn 1. We're about 2 tenths up on the time, as we didn't have any traffic going down into turn 1 in the forms of Guan Yu Zhou the last lap. But we're about 2 tenths up on our time, nearly 3 tenths up on our time. Fastest sector 1. We're absolutely flying here in Monza. Do we maybe have the pace for pole or even the front row in Q3? But we're 4 tenths up on our time, maybe even 5 tenths up on our time by the time we cross the line. But we are going to come across the just under the P0 sign, but we are going to come across the line for the final time in Q2. Where can we place our car? And we have placed our car in P2 for Q2. What a lap that was to put our car up the field. And now it's going to try and bring that performance into Q3. Carlos Sainz performing well for McLaren in his second race in that McLaren. Max Verstappen third in Q2. And there's your knockout. Sadly, our teammate Pierre Gasly didn't make it through. Not the best performance ever, but again, it's his second race in the car, so hopefully he can get up to grips by the time Singapore comes around. But we are going to cross the line now for our first run in Q3. We're 10th now, we're the last person to go out and set a time. Well, we are going to come round the first chicane. I've spent most of this qualifying commentating, But we did learn last time out that the Ferraris, they do have some pace, but it's only really in the hands of Charles Leclerc. He's got a really good pace in that Ferrari. But we do set a green set to 1 to be expected as our first lap. McLarens have some pace. The Alpines, they can compete from time to time, and the Mercedes have fell off a wee bit, but we are going to cross the line in our first one to go P7. Not the best first lap, but we are going to go for another push lap here in Q3 round the first chicane, getting a deeper line there for the second part of the chicane. We don't get the best exit, but we are going to go for another lap here in Q3. We set a time to go P7. Are we going to be able to go any higher? We are going to go for our second lap in Q3 as I went into the pits at the end of the lap you just saw, getting a nice slipstream off of that Williams, I think it was, maybe in front of me. But we do get a really bad turn 1 because we carried a bit too much speed. We didn't hit the brakes enough going down into turn 1, even though you have to slam on the brakes. But we lead the train in terms of people coming out to set a time, but we are going to set fastest sector 1. So the question is, do we have pace for pole in Q3? We're 3 tenths up on our time. We're going to come around Parabolica now, and we're going to dash to the line. Where can we put our car on the grid? We're going to come across the line for the final time in Q3. We're going to go P2. Not enough pace for pole, but it's good enough. Starting on the front row with Carlos Sainz. This is going to be a very exciting race. With Lewis Hamilton on the second row, sharing the grid, second row with Charles Leclerc. This is going to be a very interesting race. Let's get to it.
We're back in Italy once again for another round of the Formula One World Championship. And what a great race is in store for us today, here at the oldest circuit on the calendar, which hosted its first race all the way back in 1922. With top speeds up to 215 and an average lap speed of around 155 miles per hour, Monza's reputation as one of the fastest circuits in the sport is well earned. We have 11 corners on this 3.6 mile track, with the best overtaking chance coming into the heavy braking zone of the turn 1 chicane. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks like for today's race. It's Carlos Sainz in pole position, and Iceman completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Leclerc, Norris, Verstappen, Russell, Perez, Bottas, Oscar Piastri, Stroll, Joe, Ocon, Gasly, Tsunoda, Liam Lawson, Albon, Magnussen, Doohan, Iwasa, Sargent, and Nick de Vries. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today? A warm welcome to Anthony Davidson, who's beside me in the commentary box today.
On the front row now, the second time this season, first time was in Silverstone. We're going to lower the fuel medium to hard. Can we maybe get a good start off the line? But there's Carlos Sainz right in front of us. It's 5 red lights here in Monza, and it is lights out and away we go. It's a bad start for us, but it's a good start for Carlos Sainz. He moves over immediately to try and cover us off. He's going to go right, we're going to go left. We're going to try round the outside of turn 1, but doing this, we're going to slow ourselves down in the second part of the chicane. We do get in okay. There's yellow flags in sector 1. It's an absolutely chaotic start, but we are going to try and go right round the outside of Carlos Sainz. We get the traction, we're swapping positions less than half a tenth. Separates us side by side going down into the second chicane. We're going to get the inside line, we're going to dive down the inside of Carlos Sainz. We're up into P1 on the opening lap. On the opening few turns we're up into P1, and it's an absolute incredible start for ourselves. We're already 9 tenths ahead of him as he got a really bad exit out of that chicane there, but we do set fastest lap and we hold on to the lead on lap 2 of this race, but going on, ending lap 3, going on to lap 4. There's Charles Leclerc. He's worked his way up the order. He got a really good start, but he's going to fly down our gearbox and he's going to try and get alongside us going down into turn 1. Can we maybe try and hold on to the lead round the outside? We do get a wider line through the second part of the chicane. He might have better traction than me though. We keep the racing line, we have a bit of a twitch on the rear end, have to correct it. That's going to give Charles Leclerc a great slipstream. He's going to try and go around the outside, it didn't work there, but he's going to try again on the main straight. We're going to go down into turn 1, it might be 3 wide as Carlos Sainz just trying to find a way. And we're going to try and just hold on to the outside line. We make contact with Charles Leclerc's rear. We are just going to hold on to our front wing though, no damage at all, but Charles Leclerc goes for the switcheroo. We get better traction on the exit of the first chicane, but he is going to come at us though. Round the right hander, Carlos Sainz going to try and get a good exit as well and follow along, but it's not going to work. But on lap 10 of this race, skipping ahead a bit, we are going to go into the pits. It's not been the most exciting race, except from Charles Leclerc and myself fighting with Carlos Sainz trying to work his way in, but we are going to go into the pits now. Where are we going to come out? That is the major question. We go onto the hard compound tyre. We are going to have a bit of left pace, but we are going to come out. There's not going to be any cars to try and challenge us. We're going to come out in the lead. We've had an absolute incredible strategy. We come out in the lead about a second. Oh, sorry, no, half a tenth separates me and Carlos Sainz. Can I try and get a good exit out of the chicane, but I have a mess up in the middle part of the chicane, and Carlos Sainz going to have an absolute great run on them medium tyres. He's going to have more pace to go right round the right hander of Parabolica now. There's Lando Norris setting fastest time, and Perez is right up my rear end instead of Carlos Sainz, arguably in the faster car. We're going to try and move over to try and cover him, but it's not going to work. We're running low on ERS. Here comes Max Verstappen as well. We're going to get double overtaken, but we are going to try and dive down the inside of Sergio Perez. We do get past him as well, and we go back up into P1, and there's Max Verstappen getting past his teammate, and they're fighting behind me. What an absolutely incredible race as we went down into turn 1. We are fighting with near enough everybody. We're fighting for our lives to keep on to this P1. But there goes Max Verstappen. There goes Lando Norris. There goes Sergio Perez almost. But we are going to dive down the inside as Max Verstappen's locked up. I'm getting mixed up with the names. Lando Norris is trying to get past Max Verstappen. So is Sergio Perez. And it's Lando Norris has worked his way up into the podium positions with fastest lap. That's been a great drive from him, as I'm pretty sure he started P5 in this race. But going through the second chicane, but on the main straight now, there flies past Max Verstappen. We are going to brake a bit later, trying to force the mistake from Max Verstappen, get a wider line. He's made contact with our rear as we pushed him just a wee bit too tight, and he's went out a bit wide as he couldn't control his car. But we do get tagged. No spinning, no damage to my car, and hopefully no damage to Max Verstappen's car. But there he goes. There's obviously no damage as he's flying past us down the main straight. Here comes Sergio Perez. Is he going to get on the fight? No, we're going to keep the outside line. We're going to keep the outside line down into turn 1, and on lap 16 of this race we keep the lead of this race, and it's an absolutely incredible race, switching positions left, right and centre, and it's going to be the exact same situation on the main straight. We just do not have the straight line speed compared to the Red Bull. We have the overall lap pace, but on the main straight he's just absolutely obliterated both Red Bulls. They're fighting. We are going to try and dive down the inside. We get past both of them. It's a risky move that I'm willing to take. The car goes to have a bit of a snap, almost veering me off of the track. We do get up back up into P1 after being overtaken by both of the Red Bulls. You would never see a move like that in real life unless it's Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. As you can see, he was a bit desperate in a real life Italian GP, but Max is trying to get past us. It's not going to work. We do keep P1 on lap 18 in this race, and it's going to come down to the final lap. Who's going to get P1? And this is the final showdown. Max Verstappen's going to have DRS, and so is Sergio Perez. We're going to go on the rundown into turn 1. 5 points of ERS left. That's not working out for us. But we are going to brake early. We're going to try and force a mistake from Max Verstappen. He turns out the apex just a wee bit. We go off track, keeping our car on track limits though. Max Verstappen's getting a good traction, good exit on us, but we have corner pace. But he is going to try and slip past us on that outside line on the final lap of this race. We're going to try and go around the outside. We get past him before the braking zone, but he is going to come at us for the final part of the lap. We are going to defend for our lives. We're going to come around Parabolica, and we are going to win the Monza GP if we can hold on to this. Max Verstappen is going to chase us to the line, but we are going to win the Monza GP. What an absolute incredible race. Max Verstappen zooms fast as so does Sergio Perez as they're continuing to try and overtake each other after the checkered flag. What an absolutely incredible race. Max Verstappen gets driver of the day. What a race.
There it is then, victory in the Italian Grand Prix, an historic race and an achievement they can be immensely proud of. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
Not the first time we're going to walk down the winner's tunnel, but it is going to be the first time in Monza we walk down the winner's tunnel onto the top step of the podium. There's Max and Checo, 2 and 3, but they weren't fast enough today to get P1. We were the fastest driver on track, as it was proven by our win. What a race. But if you did enjoy this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on all notifications when you subscribe so you can get notified with our My Team Career Mode videos and other videos that we upload on the channel. But my name's Jay from the JS9 Racing channel, and that is another win in our F1 23 My Team Career Mode. I hope you did enjoy, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.